when Emily looked me dead in the eye and said, "We have separate lives, Daniel. You don't need to know where I go or what I do." I felt something inside me snap. For years, I had been the dependable husband, paying the bills, fixing the leaky faucets, showing up to every family dinner with a smile plastered on my face. Emily had been distant for months, always on her phone, always busy, with friends I had never met. But I told myself it was just a phase, that every marriage went through quiet spells. That night, though, her words didn't sound like a phase. They sounded like a verdict. She wasn't just saying we needed space. She was telling me I was irrelevant. I leaned back in my chair and forced myself to stay calm. "Separate lives, huh?" I repeated slowly. She shrugged, scrolling through her messages like I wasn't even there. I nodded once. "Okay then. Separate lives it is. But if that's what you want, Emily, then we'll also have separate wallets." Her head shot up. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means I've been carrying this marriage financially while you've been carrying whatever else it is you've been up to. If I'm not your partner in life, I won't be your ATM either." Her face twisted into something between shock and anger. "You wouldn't dare," she snapped. "Oh, I'd more than dare." I stood up, grabbed my laptop, and began transferring money into an account under my name only. For years, I had been too trusting, letting her handle part of our savings. But I had kept a safety net, a rainy day fund I never mentioned. Tonight, it was finally pouring. Emily's voice rose. "You can't just cut me off. That's not how marriage works." I laughed bitterly. "Marriage? You just declared we don't have one. You want freedom? You'll get it. But don't expect me to finance your separate life." For the first time in years, I saw fear in her eyes. And in that moment, I realized something important. Emily had been bold only because she thought I'd never push back. But she was about to find out just how wrong she was. Emily tried to regain control of the situation, but her voice was trembling now. "Daniel, don't be ridiculous. You can't just shut me out financially. We've built this life together." I leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. Built together? Or did I build while you enjoyed the view? Be honest, Emily, you haven't paid the mortgage in years. The vacations? The car in the driveway? The credit cards you max out on dinners I'm not invited to? That's me. All me. Her lips parted, but no words came out. For once, she had no quick comeback. The next morning, I followed through. I rerouted my paycheck, froze the joint account, and put the credit cards under review. By lunchtime, Emily's phone was buzzing with declined charges. When I came home that evening, she was pacing the living room, furious. "What the hell, Daniel? My card didn't work at the salon today. Do you have any idea how embarrassing that was?" I set my briefcase down calmly. "Not as embarrassing as finding out your wife considers herself single, while still spending her husband's money." Her eyes narrowed. "So this is punishment? You're trying to control me?" "No," I said evenly. "I'm giving you exactly what you asked for. Separate lives. That means you handle your own bills, your own luxuries, your own secrets. I'll handle mine." Her face turned pale. For all her bravado, Emily wasn't prepared to actually live independently. She liked the freedom of coming and going as she pleased, but she also liked the security of knowing my paycheck was covering her lifestyle. Without that, she was exposed. That week, the cracks started to show. Her so-called friends stopped inviting her out once she couldn't pick up the tab. She started skipping her expensive yoga classes and canceled her standing hair appointments. Slowly, the glamorous life she had built on my dime started unraveling. One night, I found her sitting silently at the kitchen table, scrolling through her phone. She didn't even notice me walk in. "Something wrong?" I asked. She looked up, her eyes red. "Daniel, can we talk? I didn't mean what I said about separate lives. I was just angry." I shook my head. "No, Emily. You meant every word. And now, you're just upset because living separately isn't as fun when you actually have to pay for it." Emily's apology sounded hollow, like a rehearsed line. I'd heard it all before. Each time I pulled back, she dangled a half-hearted promise of change, only to slip right back into her old ways. This time, I didn't take the bait. I sat across from her at the kitchen table. letting the silence hang between us. Emily, I said finally, you're not sorry. You're scared. Scared of losing the comfort that came with my commitment while you played at independence. Her eyes welled up. That's not true. I love you, Daniel. I was just confused. I shook my head slowly. Love doesn't look like secrecy. It doesn't look like late nights, hidden texts, or brushing me off when I asked for honesty. Love isn't telling your husband you want separate lives and expecting him to bankroll them. She opened her mouth to argue, but I raised a hand. I've already spoken to a lawyer. The accounts are split. The house will be sold, and the proceeds divided fairly. You'll get your share, enough to live on if you budget wisely. But you won't be living off me anymore. The color drained from her face. For the first time, I saw genuine panic replace her smug defiance. She wasn't prepared for the reality of standing alone. Over the next few weeks, the process moved quickly. I moved my things into a smaller apartment downtown. Peaceful, quiet mine. Emily tried reaching out, calling late at night, sending tearful messages about starting fresh. But I didn't answer. I had already started my fresh start, and it didn't include her. One Saturday morning, while walking along the river, I bumped into an old friend, Claire. We hadn't seen each other in years, but the conversation flowed easily, naturally. No games, no veiled insults, no power struggles, just laughter and shared memories. It hit me then. I had been starving for this kind of connection. Real, honest companionship. Something Emily had stopped offering long ago. By the time the divorce papers were signed, Emily looked like a shadow of the woman who once strutted through life on my arm. She avoided my gaze, her voice barely above a whisper when she muttered, "Goodbye, Daniel." I walked away with my head high, my future wide open. For the first time in years, I wasn't just surviving in a marriage that drained me, I was free. And freedom, I realized, was worth more than anything she ever pretended to give me.